Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 36 of Spectrum Debates. Obviously, I'm not Gareth. I'm much worse. I'm probably going to make lots of mistakes. My laptop's probably going to overheat, or my network's going to disconnect. So, huge apologies if I mess up tonight, or it isn't as good as last week's episode, or it was a couple of. I think last episode was September, so it's been about 2 months. So hopefully, it'll be decently as good. And if it doesn't go as well, hopefully we can improve next week, or if someone else is hosts. So we've got 4 new guests tonight, people you have never seen before. Okay, we have Liam Bones, sorry, I've already made a mistake. So introduce yourself, what's your political ideology? I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name, I'm really nervous, go.
Okay, I'm Liam, I'm from Tynemouth, and I'm a Conservative.
Nice. I can't wait for us to discuss Conservative future tonight, Liam. It's going to
be. I'm particularly looking forward to it, to be honest.
Are you? I bet you can't wait. I'm going to mispronounce your name, and I'm really, really sorry. But NASA, is that right?
We had this conversation.
I'm so bad at mispronouncing names. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm useless. Go.
It's fine. I'm NASA. I'm a Liberal Democrat.
So where would you put your political ideology, though? Are you far right, far left, communist?
Centre right.
Ooh, it's a bit controversial.
Not really.
Well, I think it is. Okay. We have Jack Hughes. How you doing tonight, Jack? You look really cool with that hat.
Thanks.
Go.
I'm Jack, and I'm also a Lib Dem, and I'd say I was centre right as well.
Okay. But where's the centre left Lib Dems? I thought we had Tim Farron as leader. Surely you'd have like the centre left Lib Dems, like being really.
Norm Trooper.
Yeah, me and Jack are both Norm babes. We love Norm babes.
The Norm babes. And then we have Jack, another Jack, Tory Jack. How are you doing tonight, Jack?
Hey, mate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to make so many mistakes tonight. It's going to be amazing. How about you?
Yeah, well, I mean, you already made one mistake.
I know, I've already made one.
No, well, 2. I was on Spectrum Debates like 6 months ago.
No, it was actually September.
Or whatever it was.
September. But yeah, so where'd you put your political ideology and etc. though?
Classical liberal, sort of minarchist, objectivist, that sort of thing.
Oh my god, we've got so many centre-right people tonight.
I'm not centre-right. Don't call me a centrist.
Where'd you put? Okay, you're right wing. You're right wing.
Yeah.
Oh, so we've got centre-right, we've got right wing, we've got centre-right, we've got centre. Okay, I'm gonna have to represent the left cause as the devil's advocate tonight. It's gonna be so much fun. So if you want to contribute tonight, and essentially just rip into every guest's point of view and just tweet how much you hate everyone and how I'm a terrible host and how the topics are boring, you can either send a tweet at Spectrum Debates, or you can tweet us at hashtag SD36. Okay? I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not going to be as good as Gareth. I can't replace Gareth. I don't have his jumper. I don't have his giant mug. I'm going to let the big guy down. But we've got 4 topics tonight as well, which we're going to start with Liam. You're so excited tonight, aren't you, Liam? You can't wait. So why don't you introduce your topic? Let's get started.
Right, okay. So my topic is more of a question. I was going to ask, do the panel agree with me that in light of recent events, we should be arming all police officers, or at least start the process to do so? The reason behind it being that as terrorists are going for more soft targets, it would be easier to have an armed response if all police officers were armed. In some areas of the country, it takes 20 minutes to get an armed response to a location, so it could potentially save lives, in my opinion. I'm just wondering what the panel thinks about that, to be honest.
I think Jack has nailed his colours to the mast with his face.
Okay.
So explain the hat.
So whenever anyone says
what's going on with the hat?
stupid, whenever anyone says something stupid, this hat comes on.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh.
Right. Okay.
Oh my god.
So we have 4,000 on police forces, and we have 16,000 incidents that require armed police. So on average, a year, every one armed police officer has 2.3 incidents a year. Do we need more armed police? Nope.
But the point being that if you have all police officers armed, then the armed response time would be shorter. So in the event of attacks like we saw in Paris, there would be a quicker reaction time. So police officers in France are armed, so the reaction time for armed officers to get to the scene was shorter than it would have been if it had been in the situation that we have.
So from what I understood of the France thing, an armed guy literally unleashed on a restaurant of people. Whether those police officers could get there faster is irrelevant. Those people would still be dead, and so I don't. And just one more little point. Let me just make one last point. And in the US this year, 50 people have been shot by armed police just this month, and I don't think arming people, putting more guns out there is going to make people safer. More guns doesn't make people safer, in my opinion.
Well, I just think, Jack, you're right about the fact that arming police makes absolutely no difference because, as I said, it takes ages for the police to get there. So that's why I propose, greater gun rights for all citizens. I think in the US there are countless numbers of rapes and robberies and assaults that are stopped by when people have armed themselves.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
I think just back to Liam's original point. He said in light of events in France and terrorist attacks, I think it's worth noting that it's nothing new. That actually there has been attacks like this all over the country, all over the world. Sorry, and we have dealt with it quite efficiently with the police force that we have. I think we shouldn't be saying more armed police. We should be just saying more police, or just stop the cuts to the police force. Because actually, we have a track record in Britain of dealing with emergencies and states of emergencies like that very, very well. You look at the very few occasions where we've been targets. We have dealt with that situation very well, and also we invest heavily in the prevention of it. We invest heavily in the stopping of those attacks before they even get to us through intelligence and stuff like that. So actually, I don't think we need armed police because actually the only people they're going to be dealing with are, British citizens. So unless you want to change the grounds on which you're basing your argument as to do we need more armed police to deal with just unruly people overall, and not specifically the attacks that you mentioned.
Well, no, because I wasn't. As the point that I made wasn't because of just general sort of policing. It was in specific response to terrorism, and I think that if you have a situation where, like Jack said, if someone goes and indiscriminately shoots at a restaurant, then there is nothing that could have been done to save any more lives there. But the difference is, if that had happened in Britain, then there's the potential for there to be then a 20-minute wait before armed response can get there. Whereas in Paris, you're in the capital city, I don't know what the time was, but if every officer is armed, there is likely to be an officer within 300 meters of you.
It's also likely that more citizens are going to get killed in the crossfire between.
Yeah. I think also you look at, and also do you want that stigma? I mean, let's be honest. The relationship between the police or the state in general and the public is not one that's very, very strong currently, and we should be doing more to sort of bridge that gap. And I think arming police officers, okay, it's cool when you're like 12 years old and you see a policeman with a gun, but I think when you get a bit older, actually, you just think, well, why the hell? Like it just sort of grows fear inside you. Why do they have guns?
Wouldn't you feel slightly more reassured though? I know I certainly would.
You'd feel safe and secure, wouldn't you, Liam?
So what was the statistic? It was something like 8 in 10 adults experience severe depression whilst at work. So just based on that, if we're saying 8 out of 10 armed police officers will experience a very, very low point or a way in which they're not thinking straight, do we really want to give them a deadly weapon?
8 in 10 though seems a bit. That doesn't seem right to me. That's 80% of the UK population is then mentally ill.
No, it's not what I'm saying. I didn't say mentally ill, did I? I said
Severe depression. Depression is mental illness.
no. Sorry, not at some point. I'm not.
It seems quite a big thing to me. It's one way of getting used to that.
Actually having depression.
You can have depression and it not last. It can just be on the back of an event that's happened. It can, you see it all over the place with a relative dying or whatever.
So just people get into moods or whatever. Well, I guess
people get to if people say if people get emotional about something, their emotions are going to be running high. Things will not. They won't be thinking straight.
Well,
and I don't want
to
do you think in countries where police are armed that 80% of the force just sort of has this thing where they go and shoot themselves?
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that people's decisions and their decisions could be blurred by things that are going on. I don't want them people to have guns. Like, fine. Like, we've got pepper spray in the UK, and we've got
the pepper spray against a gun. That's not really a fight, is it?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That you can cause less. You can cause less damage whilst getting down the person you're trying to get.
We already have an armed police force as part of our force. So the point you're making there would be that 80% of the people who we are already arming are thanks for the hat.
At risk.
Well, yes, that's the point you're making. So I don't see what the difference would be if that's allegedly it. I don't know how many.
Basically, what you're saying.
Okay, how often do you hear that a British armed police officer has done something that is sort of less than what they meant?
Very, very. I've never heard it.
Exactly.
How often do you hear that a mad gunman goes and shoots up people in a London restaurant?
I take your point, but that is a fact that we are going to have to deal with more and more as the time comes. We are saying that we need to have tighter restrictions on terrorism and have a tighter control over things like intelligence, like security. We need to have tighter controls. Whether this should be one, I personally think it should.
I think we have sufficient processes in place to ensure that it's very rare for such a devastating thing like what happened in France to would happen here. We do a lot of prevention stuff. As we invest heavily in our intelligence service, and that has prevented a lot of. Yeah. I think if we invest more in that, we could eventually. Well, we don't need to somehow because it's currently not an issue.
I think the point we have to. Sorry, do you mind if I?
No, go.
But I think the point that we have to come back to really is the imbalance that you make if you only arm the police. That's really then putting greater guns in the hands of the state, which as it goes down, if you don't arm civilians as well, that's a slippery slope to greater and greater state control. Sort of what you're seeing with the with the restrictions on extreme speech that the government is pushing through. It's really a point now. Do we want to have all of this control, all of these weapons in the hands of the government and sort of militarising the police force?
I think Jack Hughes wanted to come in.
Hey, so the question is, do we need more guns? No, because our armed unit is already underused. So if anything, we should be reducing it. Do we want more guns in circulation? No. Do you feel safer with a policeman with a gun near you? Probably not. Personally, I don't. I feel much more insecure.
So at a time where our terrorist level is on the second highest it can be, you advocate reducing the amount of armed police we have.
Well, how many incidents have happened? 0.
But that's the point. I mean, NASA said earlier that we invest a lot in security and prevention. We do, yes, and it's great. We have one of the best intelligence agencies in the world. But there's always the risk that something will slip through the net, and that's when it's realised. We've stopped 7 attacks in the past 6 months. But if one of those slips through the net, then the public are immediately unhappy with the whole system, and they say why did they let this happen?
But if one slips through the net, it wouldn't make the slightest bit of difference whether there's more people with more armed police officers. If one slips through the net, they're going to cause damage regardless.
Yes, but it's about limiting the damage. If someone can get there within 2 minutes, as opposed to 20 minutes,
okay,
how many lives can be saved?
And thinking logically about this, what? So okay, fine. We go with your plan. We have more armed police officers in the UK, but their regulations, their procedures wouldn't change. So what if one of these guys takes a hostage? It doesn't matter that there's an armed police officer there, because they can't do anything because that person's got a hostage.
No, but
so
we're talking about specific situations where if someone is indiscriminately shooting at a crowd, we can shoot them, and that can limit the amount of death and injury that there will be at that event.
Let me bring in Twitter, because we've been going on for quite a long while. So we have amazing Anwar here. Someone's watching. We have a totally different relationship with the police in the United Kingdom. Stop trying to ruin that, Liam. Screaming at my laptop, so he's not very happy.
I agree.
We have Chris G, who says French police officers are armed. It didn't stop terrorist attacks in a terrorist event in Paris? ? We have a confused ninja. Arming police won't help unless the police are at the right place at the right time. Then there is no benefit. We have Robert Winfield. Although the great majority of police officers would use arms sensibly, a minority would be trigger happy. We have Chris G again. I wouldn't arm police officers. Not much need in most parts of the country changes relationship with the police. We have Milton Graham as well. Wouldn't arming all police officers have the effect of raising fear of the public? So I have a question for you, Liam, here. Surely there are better ways in dealing with this, because you're right about the terrorist level. I would argue that. Gosh, she sounds really happy.
What is that?
I would argue that the 21st century is going to be decided by terrorism. So we do need to deal with this terrorist effect, Liam. But surely there are better ways in dealing with this.
I think
rather than just arming police officers with guns. As you see in the US, police officers are very, very trigger happy. One of the person said on Twitter. So surely that would be the wrong way to go about it. Surely, would quite possibly happen is that more people would ultimately die because the police are trigger happy. Because we already had I can't remember specifically his name, but Mendez in London was shot by the police because they thought he was a terrorist and he wasn't. So surely there's a big risk of the police misusing their abuse, and also fundamentally changes the relationship between the police and the public, because at the moment police officers don't have guns. So, what would your response be to that?
Can I take your 2 points separately? Firstly, you said about terrorism and the increased threat and our response to that. And I would just say that it needs to be multiple things, but I'm just arguing for this to be one part of the response to terrorism. So you have that, you have increased intelligence services, you have action in Syria, you have going to the root of the problem and the ideology, but you also have increased security in Britain at targets, like well-known targets, airports, train stations, concert venues, but also soft targets, as in police on the street. And to take your second point about it being a different relationship with the police, I think in a lot of places you see police officers with guns, you see them at train stations, airports, things like that. And personally, for me, I feel safer if I see a police officer with a gun, because I think the argument... Thanks for the hat again. I see the argument that people make, which is that if you arm police, you make people worried. But I think at this point in time, people are already worried. People know that we are on the second highest threat level we can be on. People know that there is highly likely to be a terrorist attack in the UK. So if you are not worried by this stage, then I don't have anything to say to you. You should be. And that's my personal view. And Jack didn't even put the hat on, he just sort of raised his eyebrows in disbelief.
Jack is allowed to raise his eyebrows, okay? He has that right to do. But, I mean, coming back to Twitter again here, Liam, have John Swallow. Sorry if I mispronounce anyone's name. I'm really sorry. John Swallow 4, who says there's been more members of the public harmed, shot / tasered by police in the last 5 years than terrorist attacks. I mean, ultimately, Liam, surely what can actually happen? What happens in the US? What you've seen in the US the last 40 years? If more people are dying through the police, the abuse of the police, shooting people, by accident. Yes, terrorist attacks are horrible, but surely there are much better ways going about it. I know you're right. You're saying that this is only one part of the problem, but surely this would actually solve the problem at all. I mean, yes, they could get there faster, but this is only one incident. Could people with armed guns, prevent 7/7, for instance, or 9/11? Not really. I mean, you're using one example of Paris to describe the whole situation in terrorist attacks, which isn't exactly fair, isn't it?
Well, no, because I mean, if we look at terrorism in Europe over the past 5 years, most of the attacks that have happened have just been sort of single or a small group of people with guns.
No. I mean, can I just get if somebody is going to commit an act of terrorism, they're probably not acting alone, and if they are going to target somewhere like the UK, I can't imagine they do it on a small scale either, just because of our influence in the world. And also, I think actually having armed police wouldn't really. I don't think it would matter, because these people are willing to do whatever it takes to cause harm. So
yes, but again, this isn't about stopping them. It's about sort of damage prevention.
I think limiting. The one Western country that doesn't really have the same threat of terror attacks that it does now is the US. There are two reasons for that. One, they have obviously much stricter immigration laws, and two, they do have a greater spread of guns. Where are the terror threats happening now? It's in Europe, not the US.
Yeah, but you also have, like I said, 50 people this month dying alone at the hands of the police force who are there to protect them.
But I think the single difference with America is what Jack is advocating, even, which is for everyone to have the right to have a gun, and that's not what I'm saying. And that's the difference between us and America, as I see it. So that wouldn't happen if we armed UK police.
Okay. Let's have a from Twitter, and then we'll move on to the next topic. We have Salman Anwar again, who said maybe there might be a risk, maybe, just stop. We have a confused ninja. I would argue Liam overestimates how quickly ordinary police would be able to get to the scene. You have Joshua McCullen. Okay, I am up to speed. No, we do not need less arseholes. Oh yeah, I technically swore. That's bad. Sorry, Gareth. Yeah. Oh, I should have kicked her right now. I just swore. How bad. We have Joe Patterson. That hat is a threat to national security. Shoot it, obliterate it. Get that hat out, Jack. Come on.
Brilliant. Keep it.
So is everyone happy with ending that topic? Moving on.
Yeah.
So the next topic tonight is all about freedom of speech. So do you want to get us started, Jack?
Yeah, so there was this trial that's ongoing in Canada now. It's by a guy called Gregory Allen Elliott, who's been on trial for about 3 years, which kind of would have huge implementations for free speech in Canada. The reason why it happened is, there was Stephanie Guthrie, sort of a feminist in Canada, sort of led a Twitter mob against a critic of Anita Sarkeesian, who sort of created this punch up game, like we'd be done for Jack Thompson, who was a conservative anti-games guy. And so Elliot then objected to this mob justice, and basically he was then accused of criminal harassment on the basis of his tweets, and he was joined by 2 other accusers. But he's then been in court now for about 3 years straight, and this would then, as I said, set a precedent for how much you're allowed to say online, what sort of constitutes harassment. In fact, going through this tweet, there was no threats to violence, no threats to life, no nothing. But Canada, like the US now, it's starting to become one of the last places where this sort of thing is allowed. Because in Britain we've had few people put into jail for tweeting something. So I remember, wasn't it that guy, that footballer who had a heart attack, and then he was thrown in jail for tweeting about it. So yeah, that's generally the thing now. It's free speech, and on Twitter, it's like, should he have been allowed to say these things? Should he have been put in jail for saying these things? That's kind of the debate I wanted to bring up tonight.
Okay. Does anyone want to start us off on this topic? Don't be shy. Come on. Come on. Someone
What sort of things did he tweet?
He
me an example.
tweeted that. Let's get a quote up. What did he say? Yeah, he basically said that the online mob justice was every bit as vicious as the face punch game, and basically, told him to stop, attacking this other guy. And that's pretty much all he said. There was no like, oh yeah, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to rape you, die, whatever. There was none of that. So it was really just when somebody called harassment on him, and it's now being taken to court.
I mean, I don't personally see an issue with what he's tweeting. I don't know. It's a hard one because I think everyone would use their common sense in the situation and say it's social media. Things should always be taken with a pinch of salt, and B, as you say, like you're able to say what you like you to a degree, obviously. I don't know. I can't really comment because I don't know the details really.
I don't really. Oh, sorry. You go.
No, go on, Jack.
I don't really know this specific case or anything, but it's just in the general thing about tweeting things. I think there's quite good safeguards in place already, so you can already report and block people. You don't have to interact with these people who keep sending you whatever they keep sending you. You don't have to interact with them. You choose to keep interacting with them because it's quite easy to block or report or even mute them. So I don't think there's a need to go as far as this.
Yeah. So, Jack, where would you put, for your definition, how far would freedom of speech go for you? I mean, how would you think the police should decide the limit of freedom of speech? Is it whether I say, Jack, I'm going to bomb your house tonight, or Jack, you're a real big meanie, I dislike your political opinions, you're offensive to me, So where would your limit of freedom of speech be?
I would draw the limits of freedom of speech as far as possible. For example, let's threats to life should be sort of investigated, but it's like, you have to sort of draw from the situation. So I said, oh yeah, law, I'm going to kill you for saying that about me. That's not a threat to life. That's not deliberately just saying, just say, if I made a joke, someone's like, yeah, I'm going to kill you for that, that's not a threat to life. That's,
but how do
stuff like that.
How do you tell the difference if it's text? If it's just written down, how do you tell the difference between I'm going to kill you and I'm going to kill you?
Yeah, well, I get
Little joke. Gonna kill you? Just going to kill you, lol.
Yeah, but like, in some things you can judge from context, but it shouldn't be an instant blanket ban on what people say, on what people say. In fact, for the vast majority of speech should be protected speech. There's only like this very small sort of like direct threats to life, or direct threats to personhood,
I don't know.
Which should not be censor speech.
I think it's based on individual basis. It's just such a specific example. It's hard to comment. Like it's just. I personally think the whole case in itself is just a bit stupid because it's, as I say, it's social media. If I was to complain about everybody who said something harsh on social media or something that I'd consider worrying, I mean, some of the stuff that Jack Hughes tweets, you could easily take it to court over that, but you just don't because it's social media.
Don't come for me, Naz. Don't come for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think kind of what this case shows is how far freedom of speech is under threat by the fact that this was even allowed to go to court, and that this wasn't just thrown out by the judge, laughing his ass off in the first place.
Do you think this is political speech by the left, Jack?
What, that it's...
In terms of they're taking down freedom of speech, typical political correctness gone mad kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's lefty feminists gone crazy.
Yep, basically. But I mean, to be fair, I know some. You know, I have a very good lefty feminist friend, and there's a difference between sort of, you know, the authoritarian left and the liberal left. Like, you know, the liberal left, you can sort of sum up is Jeremy Corbyn, Bernie Sanders, that lot. They don't want that as much restriction to free speech, but it's the authoritarian left that you kind of have to be worried about. In sort of, you know, it's now there's not such a split between left and right anymore. There's more between the authoritarians and on one hand the libertarians on the other hand.
Yeah, but would you agree though, Jack? I don't know if this is relevant or not, because I mean this is a bit of a tricky topic to disagree with, I suppose, because I think everyone would support freedom of speech. I think it's just slight disagreements on specific limits, I suppose. Those who say you can say whatever you want, or some people say, you know, you can't threaten other people, etc., etc. But surely, though, Jack, that those political, those lefty political correctness people, I don't know how you phrase that, I'm sorry, but surely they have a right to criticize those who are using offensive language, using bigotry language. For example,
Yes,
I'll bring in Gear here because it kind of livens up the topic a little bit. I mean, do you think that she should have had the right to be was she banned? What was the petition for her to be banned on? Was it just a lecture?
Who, sorry?
Jermaine Greer.
Oh yeah,
Jermaine.
Yeah. Well,
what was she banned from?
She was banned from. Yeah, she was actually banned from a similar thing that my boss actually banned from speaking on. It was because she was banned for supposedly being transphobic and so on. And she actually, to be fair, that's not the great example because she was banned by the same, you know, greatest sort of lefties that I would, you know, sort of be railing against. It's like, Bahar Mustafa. She's a better example. She was arrested for saying, I think she's had the hashtag kill all men on Twitter. I in no way think that she should have been arrested for using said hashtag, and I completely disagree with you know that the law should be used to silence, you know, anyone who says, oh yeah, you know free speech is bad because it hurts people's feelings. I mean, I totally, you know, the law shouldn't be coming down on those people either. No, it's a healthy debate from either side, which kind of, you know, makes for a civilized society. I think anyone's banned, regardless of their political opinion.
Okay. Does anyone want to have a last opinion before we end this topic?
Are we ending it? Oh, God.
What else do you want to say? It's a bit tricky to disagree.
No,
I suppose.
absolutely. No.
Twitter
no,
Jack, you're wrong. They should ban people, okay?
We need to listen to the people on Twitter.
Supposed to be
Yeah, well, what are people on Twitter saying about this?
We should move on.
let me have a look what people. No one. I would have thought people on Twitter would be like, yeah, freedom of speech, yeah, let's go, freedom of speech. I mean, it's a bit tricky to disagree with on, to be honest. But
interesting
yeah.
point nonetheless.
Yeah, it's such an interesting point. But yeah, let's move on because that's a bit of a tricky topic to disagree with, I think. So I'm gonna mispronounce your name again, aren't I?
Don't. I'll hit you.
I'm so bad at it.
I like Naz.
See that?
Naz. I'm gonna call you Naz. 'Cause, yeah.
That's not even a thing. But fine, whatever.
Okay. Go on, Naz. Do your topic.
So my topic is we have members here from both of the youth wings of the Lib Dems and Conservatives. My question is which. Or rather, I just want to. No, it's not a question. Rather, a discussion around the panel. Which youth wing is, and it can't be within a political circle, but which youth wing is much more effective, productive, and engaging? Liberal Youth or Conservative Future? Do they still exist, by the way?
Yes.
They do. Okay, fine.
Just about. It's on their last legs.
Yeah, you are. Wait, aren't you two just the representative of Liberal Youth? Conservative Future, sorry. Like, that's it, there's no more.
Yeah, we are the last
but conveniently, Jack is a representative from Liberal Youth, so...
Yeah, well...
Okay. Go on, Liam. What's your thoughts on it? Surely Conservative Future are in an absolute mess. They're in chaos. They should just disband for the future because ultimately There's just drugs going on in there. There's blackmail, there's bullying.
Well, I
You
think
you forgot the sex and drugs.
Oh yeah,
This is- yeah, and the sex and
no,
drugs.
there's nothing wrong with sex and drugs, in the youth wing. That's just
true.
the
That's
the point of it,
true.
well,
Then you got career. Then you got career politicians and people who are the sons and daughters from the second prime minister of Albania. And, I mean,
So come on, Liam,
Right.
defend Conservative Future's action.
right,
Good luck.
okay. Well, I think the events of the past few years have haven't shown Conservative Future in the best light.
Brilliant. They're just a little bit misunderstood, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say. Okay.
I mean, in a lot of places, say the Northeast, for example, that's a good one because I know about that. Where we were quite a successful branch, regional branch, and we have quite a few area branches, and then obviously constituency branches, and we have been sort of the force which has backed up candidates throughout the region. But I think the clear distinction to make is that a lot of the regions aren't directly associated with the national picture. So, I mean, I've met the national chair once, and it was at conference, and I hadn't heard of her before then. Well, I've heard of her a few times now, but besides that. But we're fairly disassociated from that. So as a branch, our view is that we have to continue supporting the candidates because we haven't been involved in that as such. We've continued to support the candidates and bring young people into politics and get youth engagement, and the national picture isn't representative of the CF on a whole.
Can I sort of pick you up on that there, Ian? Because I mean, I'm obviously a member as well. But I think Conservative Future was actually highly effective because I was actually on the Battle Bus campaign with Mark Clark and a few other people. So I mean, I met India Prominent, Alexander Patterson, all these people who have been involved, in the scandal. And I have to say that despite all their actions, they actually made, I think, quite a significant difference in all the seats we went to. I think I went to 5 marginals, all tightly contested, and we won 4 of them. And some we won that we thought we had no chance. I mean, one was I can't remember his name, Nigel someone. He was caught playing Candy Crush in a parliamentary thing, and literally everyone we're talking to, oh yeah, it's the Candy Crush guy. But somehow we managed to get him back in. I have to say that that unfortunately now that Road Trip has been sort of cancelled and just been smashed down, it was actually it was a very effective campaigning tool. Despite the awful, horrible people who were at the top and running it.
Yeah. And I think...
Because I think... No, sorry, go on.
No, go
on. Because I always get confused with Liberal Youth, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate on your behalf now for the future. So Liberal Youth, for me, I think they try to do the strategy bit, they try to do the organising of the national campaign. When we pay lots of people lots of money to do that stuff, and for me, a youth wing is much more about doing not the bureaucracy of the campaign, but the physical work. Would you agree that their job should primarily be doing the grunt work and not the strategy work?
Yeah, that's basically what the youth wing is for. They shouldn't be the guys in the office running things. They should be the ones at the bottom, handing out the leaflets, doing all the work stuff that the older members may not actually physically be able to do. But it's like it's the young fit people who can go door to door knocking every day after day, and just actually be out campaigning. They shouldn't be in the office working out how to run things.
Yeah, and I think some of the stories that I've seen in the papers about CF in particular this week have said that we're some sort of drugs obsessed group.
Well, yeah, I mean it's true, but
Whoa! We have an admission. We have an admission here.
I mean, I've been part of CF for 6 months now. and I haven't at any point been. I mean, I haven't even been to a social event. We've literally just done campaigns in my area, and that has been effective. So I don't sort of think of myself as part of National CF because I don't see what they have in all of these newspaper stories as something I've been part of.
So, Jack, as somebody who sits on the National Liberal Youth Exec, or rather was elected, do you think Liberal Youth should be doing? Do you think Liberal Youth should be doing more work and more campaigning instead of more talking?
I'll speak to the question, which is worse. So with Liberal Youth, because we're a central party, we do have people who are from like quite far left and quite far right. So it's quite easy to find arguments there. And I think if you look through my tweets, about 1 in 10 is me slating Liberal Youth. Like some of the people are brain dead, but there are some really good people in there, and because we're significantly smaller than Conservative Future, it does feel a lot more inclusive and a lot more
incestuous.
If you want to use that term. But I don't know. You can't really defend the Conservative Future right now, can you, Liam? When it's just
well, no, I don't know. I mean, you know my position very well on Liberal Youth, and a recent tweet saying it should be abolished pretty much sums it up.
Come on, guys, we need to be partisan here. We need to be defending our own parties and
I did
make it
defend it.
professional.
I don't know. Do we think that we should have
but some people are amazing, and you just associate yourself with the good people. So like you shove a NAS to the side, and then it's fine. There's half the problem gone. And then...
Oh, babe, there's a reason why I'm running a campaign in Oldham and you're not.
Yeah, we're gonna win.
Ooh. Shots fired.
Ooh. Personal here.
To move back to the point, that's always an important thing to do. I'm just wondering if the panel thinks that CF moves forward from here.
How it moves forward?
If it does.
Hard to move backwards.
Yeah.
No,
It's like saying
if it moves forward, or whether it just sort of dies.
I think what should happen. You should completely just refresh. Just start again.
Yeah.
New constitution. New system. Like I'm happy. I'll come and write the constitution for you. I don't.
It did amuse me when someone tweeted a picture of the Youth, the Conservative Future Stand at conference, and it was just full of like 60-year-old women and men. I found that quite amusing. Okay, because my only experience with Conservative Future was them turning up outside our Portsmouth office, taking a selfie of them with a leaflet, and then getting back in the bus and going. And I just sort of thought, well, they're going to do some work. So I don't know.
We do work.
Yeah.
I promise.
Okay.
I mean, one question I have for you, Liam, is how much pressure is there on you to campaign? Because I know the society at my university, I've heard all they do is just campaign.
I mean,
do no socials at all, but just campaign. I mean,
there's not a lot of pressure on me personally because I chair North Tyneside and Tynemouth. So, I mean, if anything, it's me trying to pressure people to come out and do stuff.
Okay.
But
so you're the bully. You're getting bullied.
well, it's not bullying. It's it's a strongly worded email.
Strongly worded.
Brilliant.
That's where it started from, didn't it, Liam?
Yeah.
That's where the problems began. A strongly worded email.
You're going to start attacking people in a pub now.
So does the panel think that the youth wings of our parties should be an opt-in or an opt-out service? Like, because obviously in the Lib Dems you're automatically a member of Liberal Youth until you choose the otherwise.
You don't have to engage if you don't want to.
No, but you're automatically a member. Which
it
seems
makes
odd.
sense if you're automatically a member. You don't have to turn up though.
No, but we don't do that for people who register themselves down as Christians. We don't put them in the Lib Dem Christian form. So why do we do it just for young people? Should we not be doing it for all of them? Is it because we acknowledge that it's an underrepresented group in the party, and therefore we're trying to boost our paper figures? Or does the panel think it should be an opt-in or an opt-out service?
Opt-out.
I don't think people would use it.
Opt-out, yeah.
Okay.
Because even if people I'm going to go back to my example. Even if people don't show up and do your campaign days, they still might show up to social events and stuff like that. So last night we had a social, and we had a few people show up that I've never met before, who haven't come out on the doorstep, but have come along and got involved with the party at that stage.
So let me ask everyone here, and also everyone at home, what does everyone think of their own party, like youth, like body? Like, do you actually think they do a good job, or do you think they're a bit incompetent? Or, I mean, for instance, for me with Labour, they're okay. I mean, I don't think we have as much problems as you guys have, especially Conservative Future. There's not as much pressure to campaign, but there is some like career politicians, and it's not as there's not really any backstabbers, but you can tell people are trying to get up like the greasy pole.
I think we're quite lucky in the Lib Dems in that actually no Lib Dem is popular long enough to have a career out of it. So we don't have any career politicians or aspiring career politicians. We do have the guys with big egos who go on to conference stage and announce they're going to stand for deputy leadership.
Fucking hate him. Sorry, I saw.
But I think generally I think Liberal youth are actually very, very poor and are often a burden on the party, and particularly at a time where we have limited resources. They need to become self-sustaining. The party should stop funding them, and I will not be surprised if, when the party does its next budget review, they acknowledge they cannot fund Liberal youth as well as they have done before, particularly when they go over budget on things like Activate and stuff like that.
So you're a big fan of Liberal youth, and you hope.
Love it. Number one fan. Got a membership card.
Okay. Let me briefly go to Twitter, because I think we've had a decent amount of tweets on this. We've had James Arrowsmith, who says, party youth wing politics is seemingly all about campaigning and scoring fake political points so you can secure a safe seat. I actually agree with that.
We don't have safe seats in Lib Dems.
You barely have seats.
You don't have it.
Yeah.
Everything on the legend of Mark Williams. He does a fantastic job. You've got Michael Craig here, who says Conservative Future is an awful organisation. If the Liberal Youth chat box is anything to go by, that's also an organisation. This conversation was all about just criticising all youth branches.
I think more specifically, it's just criticising Conservative Future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, kind of deserve criticism after what's happened, but you know.
I mean, I can see like 2 tweets slagging off Liberal youth, and one of them is from me. So.
I think CF can move forward from this, though. I'm not aware of that.
We have to burn it down, raise it up from the ashes.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely the national executive.
You don't have a national executive anymore.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, we're already part way there in this whole process.
Right. Let me ask just one final question, then you guys can just have one final say, and then we'll move on. So to Tory Jack and to Liam, how much dirty gossip did you hear about Conservative Future? Because I heard there was drug taking involved, and I knew Alexandra Patterson was having affairs, but I didn't know with who. So I heard some gossip.
No. Sorry, we shouldn't be doing names like that.
Not names. Oh, okay.
Okay. Well,
Alexandra Patterson had an affair with Robert Falcon. That's obvious.
Yeah.
I heard there was more.
Yeah. To be honest, I never really heard anything apart from when it all came out. You know, I've been on like nights out. Drinking and stuff. I've never actually heard or seen anything that much about drugs. Was really never connected with the top guys, or even in general. Just what we said was we just go out for a laugh, have a few drinks, but I honestly never thought there would be anything like this. I joke about it now, but I mean, in all seriousness, I'd never had seen it before as this kind of really hedonistic organisation.
William?
I know nothing more than that was in the newspapers.
Rubbish. Resign. You're a disgrace.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to our final topic tonight, which Liberal Jack. Come on, Liberal Jack. What's our final topic?
I've forgotten the fact. Oh, Corbyn. Should Corbyn resign? Do you want me
So what does
to-
everyone think about Jeremy Corbyn resigning?
Can we have Jack elaborate?
Yeah,
Okay.
can you elaborate? Why should Jeremy Corbyn resign? He's doing a great job.
Because 27 is it 27 points behind the Conservative in the polls.
15.
27.
Oh, wait,
Wow.
no, they're on
No,
20.
he's at
They're on
27.
20.
We're at 42, I think.
Okay.
So Labour on 27. I think that's where I got mixed up. But so is he an effective leader of the opposition? Well, no. Is he an effective Labour leader? Is he providing an alternative to the Conservatives? Is he providing? Is he leading the party in one direction? Well, when you have MPs saying, "Oh, I think this," but then they ask, "Oh, is this what Corbyn thinks?" They don't know. They don't know what his position is, or they do know and they don't want to say because they'll contradict themselves. So, but then I also think if he resigned now, would that be more embarrassing than more embarrassment on the Labour Party than there already is? So I don't know if you should give him to 2017, but then by then is it too late? Is the damage already done? Can you come back from that? So I don't know. So we knew what the panel think.
Can I just jump in? I've just been tweeted by Conservative Future.
Oh, is it
Or
this?
actual Conservative
is that
Future
the
or
parody
Con's
account?
Future?
Are they
Con's
verified? Yeah, Cons Future.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
them.
that's a-
Oh,
God.
okay. Well, what
Oh,
they
is it
said?
not? And they were like,
Yeah.
because somebody said, I hope Conservative Future watching, and I was like, I hope so. And they said, sorry, having sex on the pool table.
Yeah, that's the parody account. Oh,
Brilliant.
It popped up like a few days ago. And I was like, immediately followed them. Oh, I think there's like Marky
Sorry.
Clarky as well.
Back to Jack's point, I just had to jump in.
Okay, I think the sort of deciding factor will be whether or not they get a free vote on Syria. If they don't, then he's gone, isn't he? Essentially, because I can't see a way that he would survive that after for years saying, even as recently as 2013, saying people should have a free vote when we go to war, and then to whip the party to vote against.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't actually think the Conservatives actually put a vote on Syria anyway, to be honest. So it might not actually ultimately happen.
Well, the Prime Minister said this morning that there will be one in the next 2 weeks.
I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical that they'll have a vote. I think it depends if opinions are changing on that, because about a week or so ago he didn't want to risk it because there's some Conservatives who didn't want to bomb Syria, and some Labour people didn't want to bomb Syria, so the vote was very, very tight.
Yeah, it was, but now there's several things happened since then. The main one being that we now have a UN Security Council resolution.
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately we'll see. But responding to you, Jack, surely as someone who fundamentally believes in Jeremy Corbyn, who regards herself as a Corbynista, surely Jeremy Corbyn is in the best interest of the Labour Party. I mean, surely Jeremy Corbyn is achieving radical change in the Labour Party. He's going up and down the country, persuading working class people about the terrible damage the Tories have done on tax credits.
But he's not persuading people.
Are those the tax credits that aren't going to happen?
What, aren't they going to happen?
Well, not in the form that
Is
you've
this
seen
breaking?
them.
Is this another breaking Spectrum news that the tax credits are going to be reversed?
Not in the form that you've seen them.
I remember going on the first Spectrum debates back, and I really wanted Dan Jarvis to run as leader, and like, whilst I was saying that, oh, by the way, Lily, Dan Jarvis, he's not running anymore. So it'll be interesting if this is breaking news, Liam. Okay.
Well, no, it's been said for a long time that the policy on tax credits will change in Wednesday's statement.
But surely that'll be the success thanks to Jeremy Corbyn pushing the Conservatives on.
Well, I don't think it's more. I think it's more down to the Lib Dems than anything else, to be honest.
I think
The Lib
we're
Dems with their 8 MPs.
Well, the Lib Dems
really-
It happened in the Lords, not in the
It was nothing
Commons.
to do with the Commons. It was the Lords.
I know, but make a joke.
That was the Labour Party's bill, by the way. So thanks to Jeremy Corbyn's leadership.
Yeah, interesting.
No, it wasn't the Labour Party's bill. It was the Liberal. Was it not the Lib Dem?
It was
bill?
the Labour's bill. It was Labour's bill.
So basically, the Lib Dems put a bill forward saying, no, we will not have these cuts, and Labour Party said, actually, no, we will, but in 3 years' time. The Party for Working People.
Because
ridiculous.
there were 4 bills and 2 of them passed, and it was the 3-year one from Labour. But was it not Baroness? Oh, crossbencher, never mind.
Yeah.
The Lib Dem bill was to kill it completely.
They should've killed
delay,
it.
and they pushed through the delay one. So.
Well, what will happen is, I think, is that a lot of election promises can now be gone back on because of it, which will make the autumn statement a lot easier.
I know Jack wants to get in. Ever say quickly, do you think the Lords overstepped their mark for challenging the government?
Yes.
And why didn't you reform it when we gave you the chance?
Because the Lords in
he's getting the
practice,
hat back on. Oh my god.
Oh,
because the Lords in practice are a good thing. They are the best scrutinising body
Except when they scrutinise you.
of any modern democracy. But the difference is the Lords should scrutinise and should amend, but the decision should ultimately come down to the elected House.
Ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. What you're saying is scrutiny is good as long as it doesn't contradict what I want.
Scrutiny is good as long as it can then be agreed by the elected House.
It's fake democracy.
No, it's like someone saying, "Oh well, I think this will be wrong. This is why I think it will be wrong," and then you saying, "All right, yes, I agree. We'll change it." Not saying, "I think it's wrong. It's not going to happen unless you do it my way."
Yeah,
That's not right.
It was a Salisbury Convention where it's like the Lords don't block anything that was in the manifesto of an elected government, and as soon as they go against that, they're being really anti-democratic. You're not listening to what was kind of the will of the people.
I disagree personally. I think the Lords.
Are you in favour of the Lords or not?
I'm in favour. As they are now, yes. Reformed to the way that my party wants to do them, no. I think that it works as it is now.
Right. So go on.
We don't need a second house grabbing votes. We don't.
I agree. But do you not agree that the decision should always ultimately be down to the elected House?
No, I think the elected House should be the primary place in which law is made. But I think on these occasions where there was significant danger to a significant proportion.
Well, there wasn't.
Anyway, move. Let's go back to our topic because Liberal Jack was the.
No, I'd ask Lily to get out of host mode, and can I ask? So you were really in favour of Corbyn. Why has that changed now?
I've got to be a devil's advocate though, Jack.
No.
I'm a devil's advocate.
You need to represent.
I can't.
Wait, can we nominate Liam to host for
Liam's
5 minutes?
Technically the host because
Liam host now.
Liam's hosting.
Okay, I haven't got a special hat, but sure.
How's that possible? We can change host just to make me answer a question.
Okay, Lily, would you answer Jack's question, please?
What's the question again?
So you were initially in favour of Corbyn. You wanted him to be leader. Why has that changed now?
I think the main reason is I didn't realise he would do so many stupid things as leader. It's pretty depressing, isn't it? I mean, it's so bad. I really wish I could swear right now, but I can't because it's Spectrum Debates.
So you're not answering the question. You're avoiding the question.
I'm not. I would never avoid the question, especially on Jeremy Corbyn. The problem with Jeremy Corbyn is he's not a leader. He's a great guy. I mean, I'll give you an example. There's
I feel like you're breaking up with him. Like,
I
it's
know.
Not me, it's you.
I'm sorry, Corbyn. I actually went to see him and hear him speak last. When was it? I currently can't remember. I think it was Thursday. I went to hear him speak, and I'm actually on his video 3 times, which is interesting. And I'm actually nodding to what he's saying, and everything Jeremy Corbyn said, I agreed with. Every single thing he said that I agreed with. But the problem with Jeremy Corbyn is he's not going after people who don't like us.
Yeah.
He's not. He said absolutely nothing on the middle class. He said absolutely nothing on pensioners. He said absolutely nothing on Middle England. And going back to the reason why we lost in the general election, we had no coherent plan. We don't have a coherent plan at the moment. We didn't win votes from the middle class or the small businesses. We're not doing that now. Our communications is a fucking disaster. Sorry to swear. It's the same now. We've got the SNP. The SNP destroyed us in Scotland at the last general election. It's going to happen again. Jeremy Corbyn has addressed absolutely nothing of the reasons why we lost. and he's not been a leader.
So
He says
how
he's
can
not
he
going to
resign?
engage in shoot to kill. That's another mistake. He's just doing really, really stupid things, and
But
he's...
should he
Lily,
resign?
when you saw Corbyn's leadership campaign, did you at any point hear him talk about the middle classes, about pensioners, about all of the things that you just mentioned? And
Yeah.
if you didn't, what made you think his leadership would be any different to his election campaign?
Well, that was literally just when he's announced he had got the nominations. When he was that was literally just when he said he's standing. So in defence, it's not like I voted for him. I put him third. I put Liz
I
Kendall
mean,
second.
I don't think it's the leader's job to. I don't think, particularly because he wasn't leader at the time. I don't think it's his job to explain to you why the Labour Party didn't succeed, considering you knew that. You know exactly why you lost, as do we. As Lib
But he
Dems.
doesn't know, does he? He doesn't. He doesn't know why we lost. He just thinks because we opposed austerity, that means why we lost. But it's more complex than that.
So, how does the Labour Party work? Because the Lib Dems, we have a review of the general election, which is done by an independent body, which sort of reviews where we kind of fucked up. Do you have that?
How long did it take them this year?
I think we have
Well, it was like 20 minutes. What happened? Well, no one liked us. Oh, okay.
20 minutes.
Oh.
But does that happen in other parties? Just out of interest.
We did.
It happened. We did
We've
one.
done reviews. We've done reviews before. I think we did one in 2010. I don't know if it's ours has been completed or not, but we've done review.
Michael Gove did ours. It was he just got up on stage, did a 10-minute thing of the general election coverage on the night, and said, "So we won," and walked off stage. It was brilliant.
I was just saying, yeah. I would be intrigued to see what your review would consist of. Just like champagne and like I don't know, taking poor people in a cage or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we do on a Saturday night. So, it's not...
Let me just have my final say, and then I'll go back to host mode because it's really important. I'm technically supposed to be the host.
Twitter's going mad about this.
Is it? I'm not looking at Twitter. Fuck you, Twitter. Anyway.
Host change.
Anyway. But I'm personally reaching the opinion that Corbyn has to go. Personally, I think if there's a bad result next year, he has to go because he's killing the party. Quite frankly, he's very, very. Jeremy Corbyn is absolutely amazing at speaking at the parties, but he's awful at speaking at the public, and that's going to cost us the election. The only reason we're not going to lose Wales is because of Carwyn, and Carwyn's amazing. And that's literally the only reason why we're not going to win.
The Labour Party will do. The Labour Party will do well locally, because it's just the way that politics works. Whoever so if you have Tories in, Labour tend to do well locally, as do the Lib Dems.
Yeah.
If we have Labour in, Tories do well locally. It's just that opposite. So they will do
By-elections,
well,
local
but it's
elections are
yeah.
anti-establishment votes.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be no reflection on Jeremy Corbyn. It would just be they're just not the Tories.
But Lily, do you think you could afford to have Corbyn stay on until May, considering you have London mayoral as well?
Do I think we could afford it? Yes, because I think if we got rid of him now, it wouldn't be enough to kick him out. I don't think there'll be enough justification.
Well, he'd stand again.
No, he can't. He can't stand again.
You can.
You need to be nominated again.
He'd get nominated. He got over 50% votes.
He needs to get 40 MPs again. You can't do that.
Yeah, I think he would.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would get 37.
Are you trying to tell me there's not enough prats in your party who would sign papers?
I don't think there's enough MPs who will nominate him again. No.
Or shadow cabinet position. I think most MPs would do whatever.
Most of the shadow cabinet hate his guts though.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Burnham in the cabinet. You know.
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah,
you got that fraud of a person, Andy Burnham. So.
Andy Burnham is the equivalent to the Lib Dems' George Penny. Like he just do it because he likes the title, and that's it.
Anyway, let me move back to host mode. Now I've got my rant out of the way. I haven't looked at Twitter. Hopefully they're not too annoyed at me. So what does everyone? Let me ask two questions. Does everyone think it's in Labour's interest to get rid of Jeremy Corbyn? And secondly, how well does Labour? How well? I'm messing up so much. How well do they think Labour will do in 2020 with Jeremy Corbyn as leader? If I made any sense at all.
I'm loving it currently because Corbyn's Labour just doesn't work, and it works really well for us. Particularly so in Portsmouth, one of the seats that I work closely with, we're about to get rid of the Labour Party locally. They'll have no councillors this time next year, which is good for us because then we're the only left party there, and it's all thanks to you guys. So.
Welcome. So Liberal Jack, what's your views of Corbyn?
resign, but then who do you replace him with? Do you get, like you say, Andy Burnham creeping out from wherever he's hiding and getting to run again?
He's gonna run again, isn't he?
I
He's
just
gonna
think,
run again.
I just think the embarrassment of another like 4-month campaign to elect another leader is just, I can't take it. It'll just
I
end
might
then.
just,
I can't do
I
it.
might just vote for him as leader just for the lols, just to see you win after three.
And can I just say, Lily, your hair looks amazing. I can't get over it. Just saying.
Oh, thank you, Jack. You're really
Sorry.
nice.
That's what I'm here for.
I like your hat, by the way, Jack. It's really cool.
Like, which one?
The other one.
There we
Just
go.
don't wear it while I'm speaking, okay?
Okay.
Just don't wear it when I'm speaking. Thanks, Jack. You're the best. So, Blue Jack, Tory Jack, what do you think of Jeremy Corbyn? Do you think he should stay on?
I mean, he should definitely stay on because
Oh,
that would be great for us again.
oh.
So it's definitely not in Labour's interest for him to stay on. I mean, he will just completely destroy the party, and if he stays on, there's going to be a split. The Blairites are all going to, go off somewhere, either form their own party or join, the Tories or the Lib Dems. It's going to shatter Labour if he stays in, to be honest.
Naz, you said that it's a good thing because if Corbyn stays on, but although the national vote for Labour's gone down, ours hasn't moved, so it's
Yeah. So
why is that?
Where can I move from
so the thing that really screwed us over in a lot of seats, and the seats that I was in particularly, was that our squeeze campaign just didn't work. So if you look at the seats where we had historically won by squeezing Labour, so Portsmouth South, Eastleigh, and places like that, the Tory vote didn't change. The Tory vote was consistent from like 97 all the way through 2015. It's just the Labour vote. We didn't get any of the Labour vote because the Tories' message was so spot on about Alex Salmond and the SNP that it, and their 12 seats thing, which was good. This is one of the 12 seats to stop Ed Miliband. It was just a really good message, and we just couldn't squeeze Labour, and that was it. But under Corbyn, we can, because people are just as scared as the far left as they are the far right.
No, what I'm saying is though, because of the polls now, Labour's gone down, but we haven't moved. So do you expect that to change
After the EU referendum, I think. And because also Tim's not done anything particularly exciting.
Not done anything.
It's not what I said. It's not what I said. I said he hasn't done anything exciting.
He was being like, I like God, and that's.
No, well, no. I have to say, Tim has been busy. He's been good.
he's been busy calling people sinners. That's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's my lead.
I need to. What was
Weekly
the
MP
answer again?
meeting.
Do you think homosexuality? What was this? How did he respond? Was he that homosexuality is a sin?
We're not getting into.
I'm not going.
Is he pro-life as well? I can't remember.
I think he is actually. Yeah.
Okay, we're not getting into the conversation about.
He's
sinning.
He's pro-life, but he doesn't want to legislate on it.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop
He's
it!
very
Really?
busy.
I
He's
swear
very
to
busy
God.
man. He can't
I
get
swear
on.
to God.
He's very busy.
I
You
swear to
really
God,
should have.
I will bring up Thatcher. I don't even care.
Bring back
do not-
Nick.
Do not
I
push
mean-
me.
Back Nick.
You Lib Dems really should have elected Norman Lamb. He was such a fantastic candidate.
Norman Lamb
I can't
didn't-
believe.
Norman Lamb. Ugh.
Norman didn't want to be leader. Okay.
He did. Yes, he did.
Of course he did.
Well, who wants to be leader if they're in the Lib Dems? You go to a proper party.
To be fair, Jack, you don't even have a political party currently, so stop getting involved.
Oh, Jack, you're not a Lib Dem.
What?
No, other Jack.
No.
Oh, other Jack. Oh,
Hang on, I'm still a member, so you can stop now. You haven't resigned just.
You haven't resigned.
No. I don't.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm going to. I'm not sure.
Go on.
You do know.
Resign right here. Resign right here.
Do you need me to send the link to join the Labour Party, Jack?
Oh, cool.
Do you want me to
Yeah,
do you
I
want me
love
to
that.
get that right now?
Paint myself fully red. Just to fly the hammer and sickle. All great.
I'll give you £10 if you resign right now on Spectrum Debate.
Do it.
Okay, I may be a filthy capitalist, but I mean, I'm not that desperate for my.
Okay, £100.
Oh, you're not
Ooh,
going
that's
to
No, you're not going to give me £100.
I would. I'll do it. I'll put it in your bank. Just resign right now.
Nah, I've got to go through forms and stuff, and then it's boring.
Brilliant.
This is like a really this is getting really toxic, guys. Come on. We shouldn't be forcing people to leave parties, okay? It's really mean.
I'm not. I'm just offering incentives.
But couldn't you just technically leave the party, get the money, then join again?
Yeah, that's
no.
true. Or could I? Maybe.
No, I'd make you sign a contract.
Then you'd have to write up a whole contract. That'll take you at least half an hour. You know.
Anyway, let's look at tweets very briefly before we keep going on to different topics, which I'm really sorry. That's what we're doing. We got James Arrowsmith who says everyone's a sinner. According to Tim Farron, it is. We got Joe Patterson who says Corbyn can stay as long as he wishes as leader.
Yeah, well done. Obvious.
Hey, I'm sorry. Jeremy Corbyn's
No,
a
I
babe,
hate people on Twitter. I hate people on Twitter like that. Like, he can stay as long as he wants. Yeah, well done. Like,
Why are you hating on our Twitter friends? Twitter's
I hate
great.
people on.
Why are you hating Twitter?
Naz,
I'm not
I
hating
hate people on Twitter. You know, quoted 2015.
Aw.
no,
Anyway,
it's Joe Patterson. He's a Lib Dem anyway.
No, he isn't.
No, he's
Is
not.
he? No, he isn't.
Yes.
Joe Patterson is a lovely person.
He's a Tory.
No, he's Lib Dem.
No, he's not.
Always you.
I saw him at conference. He's a Tory.
Oh, well then he can fuck off.
Oh, guys, you shouldn't be. We should be swearing here, okay? Swearing is bad. So, let's end it here, guys. Come on, let's end it here.
Okay.
Let me end it here. So thank you to Tory Jack. Done a fantastic job. Got Liberal Jack, who's got his hat on when I'm speaking, which is incredibly disrespectful. We have Naz, the Tory.
I'm not
Thanks,
a Tory. I'm
You
not
are.
a Tory.
You are.
Okay,
You are.
fine.
You're going to be a Tory next week, let's be honest.
Give it a
And
year.
we have our far-right Tory, Liam.
I'm not. I'm centre right. I promise.
Are you sure? Anyway, so thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to all my guests. Let's leave it there. So, bye-bye, guys.